Should you speak red pill truths to your friends and family, or just in general? Should you share red pill truths on social media? This is a question that I'm posing, and I'm going to talk about it. So I was speaking with some other MGTOW guys. Well, I don't consider myself MGTOW, but I do follow MGTOW groups and channels and things like that. So I was speaking with some MGTOW guys, and this idea has been popping up in my head recently. I'm wondering, there's so much, MGTOW and red pill information out there. Well, MGTOW and red pill are basically the same thing. It's just that MGTOW is a philosophy that stemmed out of the red pill truths. But I follow these groups, and I realize that there's so much information out there, so much great information, freeing information, right? Information that will set us free and help us grow and help us to not fall into the same pitfalls that so many other men are falling into. And there's so many men who are like right on, and even guys, even other channels. I listen to a lot of other red pill and MGTOW content channels, and some of these guys are like really just saying the exact same thing I'm saying. Sometimes I wonder if they're even listening to my content and getting ideas from my content. And if they are, great, more power to them. Like, just spread the truths, like that's how I feel about it, right? Because this is going to help men. This is going to help society. That's how I feel. That's part of the reason why I do this. I don't do it for money. Obviously, I don't get enough views to get money, but it's part of the reason why I do it. So I'm on, a social media group, and I pose the question. I ask this question. I say, how come MGTOW guys don't share? How come MGTOW guys don't share red pill truths? How come red pill guys don't share that in mainstream, mainstream talk forums or whatever, right? And somebody said to me, they said, well, if you have to ask this question, you're really not red pilled enough. And I was like, well, explain. He never really explained. So I thought about it, and I realized, well, what he meant was, you're not going to be able to change people because they're all just sheep and they're all stuck in the matrix. And this is like an idea that a lot of like conspiracy people have, conspiracy theorists. They think that, you're never going to be able to change anyone. They'll just call you crazy and they'll just call you a conspiracy target. And there is truth to that. They will call you those. They will call you names. Like, that's true. Like, when I share red pill stuff, I do get blasted, right? But it's not that I, care, or it's not that I pay attention to that. I don't pay attention to what they say, because nobody really ever comes up with any good arguments. That's the point of it all. Like, if somebody came up with a good argument and was like, well, this is why it's happening, and you're actually, you're incorrect here. And like, nobody ever does that, because I'm not wrong, because red pill truths are right on. All they do is attack you. And that's how you know you're winning. That's how you know what you're saying is the truth. Because if they can't refute or, bring up any intelligent rebuttal to anything you're saying, then they've lost. So the only recourse at that point for them is to just attack you, call you names, spew out ad hominems. And I've been saying this on my channels for forever, ever since I started making videos. Once you start saying red pill truths, people will come out of the woodwork to attack you, men and women, the simps, because they benefit from the lies. They benefit from feminism. They benefit from the family structure being destabilized. They benefit from the fact that strong men are being taken down, that masculinity is under attack. They benefit from that because they don't have masculinity. They're not strong men. They're weak men. They're the simps. They're the betas. So they will attack, and they know this. They, deep down in their psyche, they know this, and that's why they attack you, period. And women do it because obviously, all the benefits they get from all the lies and bullshit that feminism produces. Of course, we know in the red pill community, in the end, they're not really getting the benefits, because in the end, they're just going to be used up and messed up, and single moms and all this bullshit that we talk about, right? They're not going to be happily in love with a great guy. They're going to have to settle for the beta simp, right? And it takes a toll. And you can manufacture your great life all you like on social media. You can talk about, oh, I'm so happy and blah, blah, blah. Right? But at the end of the day, it's going to take its toll. At the end of the day, it's going to, one way or the other, right? You're not living a happy life. And these people aren't happy because it's the same people who always attack me. It's the same people who coming out of the woodwork. It's the same type of woman, right? Oh, you just hate women because you can't get laid. And like, they always equate everything to sex, right? They always equate everything to whether or not you can get laid. Like that's the answer. If you get laid, like you're winning at life. Like everything's great if you get laid. Like, oh wow, otherwise you're just a loser incel, and that's the worst thing you can be. And that's why you're saying all these bad, quote unquote, bad misogynistic things about women. Like, no, I'm speaking the truth so that we can be better. I'm speaking the truth so that we can hold women accountable because no one else is doing it, right? So I posed this question in a MGTOW group. And the guy says, if you don't know, like, well, here's my thing, right? Yes, you're going to get attacked, right? Yes, there are some people who you'll never change their mind. That's true. But there's a lot of other people that you can change their mind. There's a lot of other people that are kind of neutral. There's a lot of other people that might be open to these truths, right? Now, with that said, there's somewhat of a responsibility that we shouldn't share hateful content. Like, but the thing is like, out of all the MGTOW and red pill content that I see, out of all the MGTOW and red pill content that's out there, how much of it is really hateful? I don't know. I don't see a lot of it as hateful. Now, the only argument you could say against it is something like, well, you guys, paint all women with the same brush. You guys say it's all women and it's not all women. And like, yeah, maybe, but it's the majority of women, and most women benefit from the stuff that we talk about one way or another at some point in their lives, whether it's consistently throughout their whole lives, or if they have a period or streak in their life where they're really fitting the bill on a lot of the stuff we say. Like, this shit happens. We don't just say it because it's all made up, misogynistic, bad shit that we're saying about women. That's what they try to say, but that's not true, or else nobody would buy into it. Nobody would relate to it. People join MGTOW, people join Red Pill because the stuff that we're saying, well, you don't join, but people follow it, right? Because the stuff that we're saying, the truths that we're saying are true. They happen. They can relate with these stuff. When I first discovered it, I was like, yeah, this is how women are behaving. Yeah, this is what I'm experiencing. Yeah. And that's why I started following Red Pill and MGTOW in the first place. That's why I started speaking my own truths. Because it's like, hey man, I got these experiences. I want to talk about it. I want to share. But we live in this tribal world. We live in this scared world where everyone's like, oh, you can't say anything bad about anyone, or else even no matter how true it is, right? Or else you're a Nazi, or else you're a hater, you're a misogynist, you're this, you're that, and everybody attacks you because the people who attack you are the people who what you're saying hits home, to them. The truths that you're saying fit them, and so they attack you. And all they have to attack you with, they can't attack you with the truth. They can't counter the argument. They try. So, some of them try, but it's just like, this is my experience. This is what we experience. These are the red pill truths. These are things that we go through. These are things that happen. So what are you going to say? Are you going to say, oh, well, the best they can come up with is not all women, right? Not all women are like that. That's the best they can come up with. Okay, at the end of the day. And it's like, okay, I'll give you that to a certain extent. I'll give you that. Maybe not all women. Maybe it's 85% of women. Maybe it's 95% of women. That's not all women. There's exceptions. There are exceptions. But as I've said before in many videos, women operate on a subtle energy. Women operate not in the light, but in the dark. They do their dirt mostly in the dark because they don't want to get exposed. They know women are smart. They're subtle. They use subtlety, right? If they do something shitty, they do this. They if they do dirt or whatever, they want to downplay it. This is why they often blame shift. This is why they deflect responsibility. This is why they deflect accountability and agency, because they want to really hype up and continue this narrative that women are oppressed, that women are the ones who are, being being harassed and oppressed and hurt by men, not the other way around. The women are the ones being used and tricked and put down by men. And the sad part is, every once in a while, I'll come across a woman who, you know, a young woman, really, usually a young woman, because, you know, the older they get, the more experience they have, and the less, you know, idealistic they become, and the more they realize, yeah, we're probably full of shit. Feminism is probably full of shit. By the time they hit 30, if they haven't realized it, then they're really kind of cuckoo, right? They're really kind of crazy, and they really believe that bullshit. Or they're just so dead set in the fact that they are, you know, using feminism as a medium to, you know, give themselves more attention, or give themselves more praise, or give themselves more benefits, whatever it is, because that's all feminism really is at the end of the day. Feminism is just oh, you're oppressing me, let me point the finger at you so that I can get praise, so that I can be quote unquote bold and empowered, so that I can be oppressed, I can get all those oppression points, you know, I can get all those oppression perks where, oh, I'm oppressed, so therefore I get perks, and I get attention, and I get love, and I get all this stuff that, you know, because it's really beneficial being oppressed, right? It's really beneficial being oppressed. God forbid you have to work for something. God forbid, you know, you have to be actually for real equal to men. Then we got a problem there, right? Because there's a lot of benefits from being oppressed. But people are jumping off ship. People don't want to be feminists when they're 30 because they wake up and they realize, yeah, this is bullshit. You know, if they're real, you know. But again, as long as they continue to get those benefits, like, yeah, you know, feminism is great. If you love sucking dick, you can suck a lot of dick. And because of feminism, like, all you gotta do is point the finger and say, oh, you're a misogynist if you don't like the fact that I suck a lot of dick, right? You know, forget about the consequences, right? Because I'm empowered and I'm a bold woman, right? But the sad part is when you see these young girls who really believe it, who really buy into the lies. Oh, women really are oppressed. We've been oppressed for centuries. Yeah, you were so oppressed that the men had to go fight in wars and die for you. You're so oppressed that men had to go hunt and build houses and put food on the table every day for you. It's just, you're so oppressed, right? Oh, you had to bear children? Gosh, it's what you like doing anyways. It's what you want to do. That's what your nature says for you to do. And the most bitter feminists are the ones who don't bear children, right? The most bitter ones are the ones who kill their children. And I've met just countless women who brag about it. Yeah, I killed my fetus, yeetus that fetus. And like, that's your baby. You know, okay, maybe you didn't like the dad. Maybe you didn't like the circumstances about how the baby came about. But that's your fucking baby. Like, women are supposed to be nurturing and loving to their child, but you just kill it because feminism said that's okay. Oh, your body, your choice, huh? Even though it's 50% the man's DNA, right? All this bullshit, right? But these are things that we talk about, and I'm wondering why more MGTOW and Red Pill guys don't talk about this. And I think it's just because they don't like the backlash. They don't like the backlash. Like, you got. And it's I will say it's bad backlash. I will say that you get attacked like crazy. But here's the thing: if you got thick skin, if you know that it's not you they're attacking, it's your message, right? It's not you, even though they want to make it sound like you, because they want to shame you. They want to shut you up. They want to stop your message because your message is the truth. What is somebody who has an agenda? What's their kryptonite? The truth about what they're really doing. What's somebody who is telling lies or being subtle or whatever, you know, working an angle? What's their kryptonite? It's the truth, because the truth exposes what they're really doing. Oh, women are really doing all this crap. Women are really perpetrating this. Women are statistically doing this. Women, this. They hate that. And they hide behind this, oh, I'm a female, so therefore you can't say anything bad about me or else you're automatically a misogynist. Oh, okay, well, what happened to equality? If we can say bad things about bad men, why can't we say bad things about bad women? That's sexist if we can't do that, right? So you have the upper ground when you share these things. If you're speaking from a place of the truth, and if it's not, you know, hate, if it's just objective fact, statistics, truth, even if it's your experience, that's still a you know, empirical truth, empirical evidence, right? You know, now in many of these cases, the worst they can say, or the best argument they can come up with is not all women. And you know what? Don't argue with that. That's fair. Okay, it's not all women. It might be 75% of women. It might be 85% of women. It's not all. There's always exceptions. Again, That's just what it is, right? But as far as like, should you share it to your friends and family? I would say probably no, because people are going to hate you. You know, if they're strangers and they hate you, then all to the good. Or I wouldn't say all to the good, but I just say, you know, it is what it is, right? If they're strangers and they hate you, then, oh, well, it's not you they hate, it's the truth. But your friends and family might judge you, and it might cause some rifts. So I would say in that case, probably not. I used to share Red Pill Truths on my main account on Facebook, and I stopped doing that because, yeah, people judge. People are going to judge you. But, you know, if you have an alt account, or if you know, if you're just in some groups and nobody that you know is in those groups, hey man, share away, you know, because here's the thing. People are going to appreciate your truths. People are going to find your truths. It's going to help men. It's going to free men up, you know. It's going to help men. Now, people say, oh, well, you know, why do you want to ruin marriage? Why do you want to divide men and women? Like, it's not that I do. It's that, you know, I want the truth to be out. I want women to be held accountable for their actions. That's what I want to change. And until they can do that, I think men should walk away, right? Don't marry them. Don't marry a used up slut. Don't, you know, settle with a single mom. Don't, you know, move a woman in and, you know, marry her and all these things until the family court laws are changed, until it actually benefits men, until things really are equal and the court system isn't sexist. That's when you can really start doing that. You know, that's what I'm fighting for. That's the type of information I want to share. And I think probably my biggest mistake in all of this is probably not being direct and centered, in that I should stay sharing really important information like that. One of the things that I do, unfortunately, is being a little lazy, I share things that might not be as beneficial, might be more divisive. But it's all, you know, at the end of the day, if it's truth, it's truth. It is what it is, right? But what they want to do is they want to continue the narrative that women are oppressed. They want to continue the narrative that, you know, feminism is right, in that it frees women and it allows women to, you know, be autonomous through having random sex, or, you know, be empowered through killing their child. These are things that I mainly fight against. You know, I fight against the lies of feminism, fight against abortion. You know, I fight against the promiscuous culture out there, the promiscuous nature of our culture, because these are dangerous. These are statistically dangerous things, right? That really do harm families. That really do, you know, tear apart the nuclear family, right? The lies of feminism, that masculinity is toxic, that there's a patriarchy, that it's evil somehow for a man to, you know, be a leader, right? And then I talk about how women use men, you know, how if you are a leader and you are a breadwinner, that a woman will use you because that's her hypergamous nature. These are all things that are hard to reconcile. These are all things that they're hard to swallow red pill truths. I had a video about a year ago that said the hardest red pill to swallow was hypergamy. It's a really hard one, man. Really is. The fact that she won't ever love you unless you're the best she can get financially, you know. And that's not real love, right? That's a hard red pill to swallow, man, but it's shit that I talk about. Anyway, so my ultimate answer is that no, you probably shouldn't share red pill truths with your friends and family, because that might drive a wedge and be a divisive factor between you and your family, because they know you personally. However, if they don't know you personally, then therefore the truths that you're speaking are a lot more objective, and people can take them in an objective way, and smart people will, right? Stupid people, or again, feminists or sluts or women who, you know, benefit from the lies of, you know, this current evil age, they're going to attack you. But that's okay. Again, that's okay if they attack you. That's just par for the course. That's just how you know you're saying something right. That's how you know you're doing something right. Because they can't argue with the truths that you say for the most part. They'll just attack you. And you just got to have thick skin. That's all. And you will change minds. This is what this, that guy was saying, is he was kind of insinuating that, well, you're not going to change anybody's mind because they're stuck in the matrix, and and like, to some extent that's true. To some extent, you're not going to change a lot of people's minds, and they're just going to be even more mad at you. But the truth is, the reason why you won't change their minds is because they're the ones benefiting from those lies. They're the ones benefiting from that negative crap. But the people who you want to change their mind, they might be watching. You might get through to somebody. You might get through to one or two of them, and that makes it worth it. All right. So that's what I have to say about that. Appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.